Here's a question for you. What is the meaning of life? We rarely pay attention to this question because every day we have so many worries about food, clothing, and shelter, dealing with countless tasks and entangled and emotional relationships. We rarely take the time to sit down and look deeply into our lives to see if we are truly happy, if we are truly okay, if we have a bright and beautiful path to follow. Generally, most people can only do this when they are suffering, when we fail, when we lose, when we are hurt, when we can no longer look outward, when we are exhausted, when we no longer have the interest to grasp this or that. Naturally, according to our survival and self-preservation instincts, we just want to return to ourselves, to rely on ourselves. It is then that we ask these very basic questions that we should frequently ask and find answers to. Who are we? What is our purpose in life? And why do the things we believe in and pursue lead us to? Why is it that we keep slipping away from our grasp at any moment? Why do we pour all our human energy into relationships to be loved, yet love keeps abandoning us? Why do we spend so many years conquering peaks, and now that we're almost there, we feel bored and don't want to go any further? Sometimes we feel life becomes empty and meaningless, especially when we suffer from psychological syndromes like depression. When depressed, we want to give up everything, not strive anymore, just lie there for hours on end, avoiding everyone, not wanting to meet anyone, not wanting to pursue the attractive goals we once set for ourselves. Even each day, we don't know why we're living anymore, what we live for, what values we want to enjoy. After so many years in this life, with material comforts, social standing, respect and admiration, and loved ones, beside me, I felt nothing at all. I didn't feel happiness. And in those moments of confusion and aimlessness, I suddenly realized that I hadn't been rooted to life all this time. It seemed like I had never truly lived. When I was in a state of severe depression, like level 3, I felt like I was thrown out of this life, disconnected from everyone, understood by everyone. I felt very lonely, very lost. When the world around us became aware, we realized how violently we were also fluctuating. From that, we realized how greatly we were affected by external circumstances. Whatever the external circumstances were, we were like them, without any self-control. We were victims of life, of what we were attached to, what we pursued, what we believed in. All of these things were so fragile. Clearly, the pandemic has proven to us that anything can happen, and human life has never been as fragile as a weed. We could be swept away at any moment in a great storm, and we begin to doubt the existence of life, whether this life is enduring, and when we will finally grasp the profound value of life to live peacefully and steadfastly with it. Can we do that? Can we live peacefully and steadfastly amidst the vicissitudes of life? Or will we forever remain victims of the ups and downs, the joys and sorrows, the gains and losses, the comings and goings, the births and deaths of life? And when we start having those questions, it means we've begun to mature. No longer naive, no longer recklessly chasing after attractive things without consideration. No longer easily indulging in instincts because we must consider the consequences. After the pandemic, difficulties remain. The pandemic still risks returning, and if not this pandemic, scientists around the world say it could be other types of pandemics. War is still raging everywhere in the world. This world is truly imperfect and insecure. That's a fact. Yet until now, we've naively thought that life is very stable and safe, investing in all sorts of things. And anyone who has experienced heartbreak in relationships will realize that nothing is safe or secure in emotional relationships. Even if life seems safe, people aren't necessarily safe either. They might love you deeply, then abandon you. They might love someone else only to hurt you later. The transition from happiness to suffering is very difficult. The words suddenly fly up, then suddenly drop to low notes, so abruptly that one must doubt. One must ask questions like, how am I going to live my life like this? I'm sure I won't become a monk like the venerable monks here. Don't think that being disillusioned with life will lead to success in becoming a monk. If becoming a monk means becoming disillusioned, then I don't know what to do, because with that feeling of boredom, you'll be bored everywhere you go. Becoming a monk has its difficulties. If I can't become a monk, I see that monks seem to live a carefree and independent life, without material comforts, without power or status, without emotions, just like the monks here. The monks have chosen a way of life that is not clinging to anything, finding happiness from not clinging, not controlling, not possessing. What is that state of being? Try it and you'll know. Come and experience it. Try spending a week or two practicing meditation in the forests or at centers like the monks. You will leave all your work at home, with no loved ones at home and no phone use, no pressure whatsoever. You will learn how to walk slowly, calmly, and peacefully. The other day, I helped a doctor with advanced metastatic cancer. She knew about Buddhism and had listened to my Dharma talks, but it seemed she lacked the determination to practice until the end, or perhaps her practice was haphazard and lacked significant results. So I asked her to stay with me for a week. In the mornings, I guided her in walking meditation. I told her to think of herself as having been reborn into another life, to put everything aside, to focus on living first, and to be determined to seize life. She should only think about life, not death, and believe that she can live and reclaim life by trying every day. When she feels well, without pain, she should get out of bed and walk for just a short while, even 5 minutes, until her feet touch the ground. She felt the ground, she felt alive, she felt she was still alive. She walked very slowly, following the technique of walking meditation. Lifting her foot, she felt it. Bringing her foot forward, she felt it, and placing her foot down, she felt it too. She felt that the earth and sky were still there for her. Today was a beautiful sunny day, with a blue sky and birds singing all around. Walking through the pine forest, did she hear the pines rustling? Did she hear the birds singing? Did she feel the warm sun? Did she feel her feet taking each step on the ground? Could she feel it? She said she felt it and wanted to cry because she'd lived for decades and never truly felt like she could walk like that. She walked every day, used her feet every day, but never truly felt that she had healthy, intact legs, walking on the ground with all 9 of her legs. For someone with metastatic cancer, life and death can happen in an instant. The remaining time is very short, unless a miracle happens, a dramatic change occurs. And that miracle might not come from the outside, but from within ourselves. Because we have the ability to heal ourselves, because we have the ability to connect with the energy of heaven and earth, because we are children of heaven and earth, yet we keep fighting for ourselves. We feed ourselves alone, accumulating, fighting and struggling to enrich this ego that we think is unique. The more we strive and compete, the more we lack, the more lonely and lost we feel. I've never felt truly satisfied. But if I knew how to dedicate more time to living a relaxed, carefree life, to connect deeply with nature, to open my senses and consciousness so I could see, hear, smell, and touch, then I would see that life is right here, in the moment I breathe, in the moment I walk, in the moment I drink a cup of tea, in the moment I sit quietly gazing at the blue sky and white clouds, in the moment I converse with those around me, in the moment I do something for myself or for others. That is the entire meaning of life, and it takes decades, half a lifetime, 2/3 of a lifetime, even near the end for us to realize this. We have to go through suffering, hardship, and the brink of death to awaken. We are not here to make a lot of money, to accomplish many things, to conquer this or that, to become someone else. First and foremost, we are here to live a profound life, a life in which we must truly enjoy it. We receive gifts from heaven and earth. Why is it that despite being human, some people and communities in remote, isolated rural areas have so much time to live each day? They only work half a day, accepting low incomes and a minimalist lifestyle. Why? So they can dedicate that time to playing, to live deeply, to care for themselves, their loved ones, their village and their community, connecting deeply with life. And because they accept low incomes and a minimalist lifestyle, they only have 4 or 5 hours to work each day. They work in a relaxed and comfortable way, just enough to eat, without needing extravagance to show off or boast. It has no meaning in face of death, especially since human life is so short. We imagine we live to be 100, don't we? Even if I'm sure I will live forever, I'm still picking fights with this person and that person, still resentful, still wasting time on unnecessary things, indulging my ignorant desires, and then losing year after year, taking away my youth. In the end, I'm fed up. Back then, when I wanted to marry someone, whoever tried to stop me, I hated them so much. But now, I hate the person I want to marry, and I hate the people who tried to stop me. Why not stop me? It's me, not anyone else. That same passion, that same enthusiasm, that same intense turmoil, then that weariness and the desire to withdraw. It's not easy. You have to pay a very high price to withdraw, half your fortune, then learn from the experience, then learn from the experience again, and keep learning, withdrawing for a lifetime. Because we thought we had a long life ahead of us, but pandemics and wars have opened our eyes to the fact that any young person can leave this life. Actually, we don't have to wait for pandemics or wars. If we take the time to observe and acknowledge the truth, every day there are so many young deaths from accidents, from loneliness and despair, from psychological trauma. How can we be sure we won't become one of them? Who can be sure that tomorrow we won't be depressed? Suddenly, we have so many happy conditions, yet we still want to throw ourselves from the top of a building. Because within us, there are always monsters. Each person comes into this life not only to enjoy the miraculous values that heaven and earth have bestowed upon us, but also, we utilize the talents and intelligences that nature has bestowed upon us through our genetic makeup.